Good morning. Good morning. Have you ever scored the winning goal, got the job you really wanted, or did a perfect presentation? How did that make you feel? Because when that happens to me, it's an indescribable feeling. I feel like the world stops and everyone looks at me. I feel like I'm on top of the world. But that got me thinking, what does success look like? When I was in kindergarten, success looked like that one kid who was the fastest on the playground, or that one kid who could do nothing wrong. Do you know what I mean? For the longest time, I thought these kids were born successful, like success fell out of the sky into their laps, like they were the chosen ones in the movie. Since then, I learned that's not true. But that got me thinking, what does success mean? To me, success is the feeling of seeing your hard work paid off. It is accomplishing your goal, however, that comes with dedication, hard work, and perseverance. One of my biggest all-time accomplishments was learning to read. I have some memories from kindergarten to grade 2, however, they have a similar theme. Reading was hard. I remember my books were different. My books had less pages, less words, but more pictures. I remember I was the only kid from my class who went to learning support. I remember not understanding all the words on the pages and being really confused. I remember trying really, really hard and it not sticking. Reading seemed to be easy for everyone else in my class. And for the longest time, I thought I was weird. I wasn't going to get there and I wasn't smart. I thought I wasn't going to be successful. By the time I was in grade 4, I was slowly catching up and making progress, but I was still a bit behind. However, I ask you all, how do you think I got to where I am, 12 years later, doing the DP where I have to read and write a lot? The answer is, I worked hard. I stuck with it. I dedicated my time, my energy, and my effort. I persevered. I didn't notice how success crept up on me. It didn't take me a month, a year. It took me 4 just to see some hard work paid off. I learned that when you stick with hard things, it leads to success. Remember when I asked, did you ever get the job you really wanted? Well, in January of this year, I was selected to be a Valaris Fellow, attend their symposium. Shortly after, I went to the Youth Forum Switzerland. Imagine my excitement when I found out a lady who works for Valaris was going to be a speaker. So at the end of her speech, I queued up to ask some questions. However, there was this guy in front of me. Turns out, he was also going to Valaris. And he was mentioning all the great work he does, including his nonprofit. A bit of my joy went away because I was thinking, why are we going to the same symposium? I don't have a nonprofit. I kept on comparing myself to him, or what I knew of him. I was behind him at most a minute, but I lost so much happiness and confidence about me going to Valaris. And then it was that powerful word, compare. A famous quote that encapsulates this is by Theodore Roosevelt, who described comparison as the thief of joy. I lost so much happiness, confidence about me going to Valaris because I compared myself to someone. I thought, why should we go to the same symposium? He has a nonprofit. I don't have a nonprofit. He's done all this great work. I haven't done all this great work. Later that day, I thought, why was I picked? What got me to Valaris? So I looked over my application, and I remember some of my own successes. In ME1, me being a leader of my school's Red Cross, and me giving a TED Talk. These are all accomplishments that I am proud of. But this made me realize Theodore Roosevelt was right. Comparison is the thief of joy. However, the only person you should compare yourself to ever is yourself. And I have a friend who encapsulates this perfectly. Whenever she gets her report card, she looks at her recent and her newest. This is a helpful and healthy way to see, were you successful? And what do you need to improve on? Finally, I hope you take something away from this. Success is not only about being the best. It's not only about being number 1. Success is accomplishing a goal, working hard, and sticking with it. Secondly, comparing yourself to others is not a true measure of success. And finally, success is a fleeting feeling. So the next time you're feeling it, enjoy it. Thank you.